Showtime.
Showtime.
We hope it's showtime. Labor and delivery.
Labor and delivery.
Well, we have been admitted.
You're doing really well so far, handling the pain and the contractions like a pro.
We came at the right time.
Yeah.
We have been moved into our labor and delivery room.
We're trying to do things as natural as possible,
Yes.
as per your request.
Yes.
But we're flexible to
We are flexible.
to all options if need be.
I took the epidural. It's been so nice. I feel like I'm in good hands and just positive vibes. Just like nice people. Almost time to start pushing out baby. Pretty cool.
This is the coolest.
Right up there.
This is the number one. Yeah, this is the best thing we've ever experienced.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Alrighty. Well, here we are, Audrey, Sam,
And our
baby Relly.
Relly Roo.
Relly.
One of
Aurelia.
We have about a gazillion nicknames for her already.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we thought we would sit down and share her birth story. Not just for you guys, but for posterity, for her as well. So she can watch this video and hear all about the day she came into this world. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so how are we doing? Are we in the
And
frame?
right now, what she cares about is milk.
Milk, yeah, she's already kind of
It's
like
all about the
looking
milk.
up at the chest like,
Give me the leche.
Am I
Forget
gonna
the
get
birth
some-
story. Just give me milk.
Okay, so the birth story. I think a good place to start would be just saying that giving birth was a lesson in adaptability, because basically everything I didn't want to do or didn't want to happen, like I had a long list, I had a birth plan to share with my doctor. And basically the way it all unfolded was very different from my little list.
Yeah. That's putting it mildly.
Mildly. Okay,
yeah.
so I will say, if Sam had been okay with this, I probably would have opted to give birth at home. Which, considering how things unfolded, now it sounds like crazy. Like, no way would I want to do that. But like going into it, I was just like, yeah, let's do everything natural. My body knows what to do. Let nature take its course. That was very much my attitude. And like, I was going into birth, like feeling very peaceful, just very calm, like no real fear or hesitations.
Yeah. I mean, actually, one of the main reasons that you didn't do that, it wasn't so much my opinion. It was like you did reach out and there was no one available.
Oh yeah, to connect with a midwife.
That's the main reason. I
Really
actually,
believe.
to be honest, I didn't have strong opinions about the birth situation. I just thought, well, if it's not going well, where are we going to go? Just to the little clinic nearby? That was my only objection. Was like, but actually, I was even sort of like, if you had have wanted to try to deliver here in a small area that we're living, we could have.
Yeah, no, but the doctor said no.
But the funny thing, the doctor said no here because you didn't have what was called a proven pelvis.
Exactly.
So you can explain that.
So if you haven't given birth before, if you haven't pushed out a baby naturally, they don't know what kind of complications there can be along the way. So that's why they didn't want me to do it at my local tiny little hospital. Also, they don't have nurses on call for the OR there. So yeah, that's how I ended up in the city. Oh, she threw up on me.
Oh my.
There we go. Alrighty. A little bit of pukey puke, that's okay. So, because I did not have a proven pelvis, it was decided that I would either give birth in Lethbridge or Calgary. And we ended up opting for Calgary just because I have a sister who lives in the area. And I thought like, okay, we can just hang out in the city and wait for labor to begin.
Yeah, that proved to be definitely the right choice.
Yes.
Again, it was just like this whole, like having supportive family around you it makes a world of a difference. Just the fact also that your sister has a young baby as well, just sort of practice for us as well.
We were exposed to a baby in the weeks leading up.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
So then the night that I went into labor, I remember just being very chill and nonchalant. Like I was messaging back and forth with my family, like, oh, my contractions are 3 to 4 minutes apart if I'm like up and moving and walking. And I remember everyone kept telling me, like, Audrey, you should probably like go to the hospital. Like you should start getting ready. It might be time to consider driving to the hospital, which was like half an hour away. But I was like, no, I'm just gonna leave her at home, take it easy, feeling calm. But anyways, we went in at the right time, I would say, because shortly after we got there, like the contractions started to get really intense.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been fun to be sitting in a car on the highway with strong contractions every few minutes.
No, I think like you were kind of on the borderline of being admitted or being sent back home.
Yeah.
And they made the call to keep you there overnight, and that ended up being the right decision.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Showtime.
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 We hope it's showtime.
It'll be a show.
We've got the whole gang. Ariel, her baby, Sam, Danny. This is like a family outing.
To the hospital. Let's all go have a baby together.
Yes. I'm doing okay. Look at this. Oh.
Floor 6. So we're going to the maternity ward.
Labor and delivery.
Labor and delivery. Yeah. We have, your name has been booked here.
Yeah.
So this is the official hospital.
Time. It's almost 11 p.m. Wow, it doesn't feel like it.
No.
Alrighty. Well, we have been admitted. We got here probably at around 10:15 or so. Yeah, probably 10 p.m. I don't even know. Time doesn't matter. We've been admitted. I was checked. I'm 5 centimeters dilated. So yeah, just gonna hang out here. Got Sam with me.
That means you're spending the night.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if you were going to be sent home or not.
Yeah.
And you're doing really well so far, handling the pain and the contractions like a pro. And we have calm energy. We've both kind of learned how to meditate in recent months, and that really helps kind of just keep the energy calm and relaxed. You know, this isn't about me, it's about you, but I mean, you know, I do feel calm, and just having you calm is nice too. Like you're doing so well so far.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're doing well too.
How's that bouncy ball?
Yoga ball is helping.
Is it?
But I'm having just as you started filming, it's like another contraction started, so I'm just gonna take a minute to breathe.
Breathe in, breathe out. Really
They're
good.
getting a lot closer. Like now they're maybe like 2 minutes apart,
Yeah.
and they're getting a lot more intense. But I feel like I'm managing the pain just fine. Like I hear some women down the hall like moaning really loud and making lots of noise, and I don't
there
know
was
if I'll
someone,
get
I think
to
there were 7 or 8 centimeters or inches.
Oh, that was that girl?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah,
centimeters,
so-
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
centimeters,
It's
not
not
inches.
inches, yeah.
You could not dilate in inches.
Show how little I know.
Yeah.
But anyways, you're doing so well. You're
Yeah.
calm. It's great that we're here. I think that's also a stress relief, you know, to actually.
We came at the right time.
Yeah.
We came at the right time. We only came because I started bleeding a little bit. I was planning to just stay home and maybe like sleep.
I know we were ready, almost getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, something's changed.
Something's happened.
And credit your sister and husband took us here right away, and
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I
That
think
was
we got
awesome.
here just on time, because if I had to be driving now on the highway with contractions like every 2 minutes, oh,
you just keep bouncing on that bouncy ball.
I'm gonna keep bouncing. It sounds squeaky, but it works. It helps. 1 more hour till my next check. So yeah, we filmed a few clips of us like arriving at the hospital and how we spent the first night. Honestly, I thought I was going to progress a lot faster, but I only progressed 1 centimeter. The whole first night I was in the hospital, which was really disappointing. I remember when we arrived to check in at the labor and delivery floor, another woman also arrived, and like this lady was in full-blown labor. and she was like mooing like a cow, leaning against the hospital walls. And I remember thinking, whoa, like that's really intense, lady. What is going on? And like we were just waiting around. Like we spent some time in the hospital. Sam went downstairs to get some food from the cafeteria a few hours later. And by that time, the lady had already given birth, delivered her baby.
Yeah, in all fairness, it was her second child.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a different situation just in and of itself. But yeah, our situation was that we were there for quite a while.
Yes.
Like we didn't sleep much that first night. You were being checked on a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were just that heightened anticipation. It's like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And yeah, nothing happened that first night.
Nothing happened.
No.
Alrighty. Time of day. It is October 13th, 8:45 a.m. We have been moved into our labor and delivery room. Got my little gown on, got my little gas. This is what I'm starting off with. Maybe I can make it with just gas the whole way. They just broke my waters. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I only progressed 1 centimeter overnight, so this should get things going. It will increase the contractions. But yeah, just being monitored right now to see if baby's happy. And this is a really nice room. Let's see Sammy's opinions.
It's absolutely amazing. We have a room with a view.
Yeah.
You can see off into the distance. There's beautiful autumn colors. Yeah, it's just a very calm, relaxing space here. And you're doing well, so I feel calm too. And so far, so good. We're trying to do things as natural as possible, as per your request.
Yes.
But we're flexible to
We are flexible.
to all options if need be.
Exactly.
So it's a good situation.
It is a good situation. So things may change. It'll all depend on what the contractions are like, what the pain is like, if I can handle it. Because right now this is day 4 for me of early labor. I labored 3 days at home. And we'll see what my body can take.
One thing that we forgot to talk about, and it's easy to forget this stage, was that you also wanted to give birth without an epidural. So why don't we talk about that part?
Let me attach the baby to the boob. So on my long list of things I did not want, right at the top was an epidural. Now looking back, I think it was just fear of having a needle shoved into my spine and like, what if something goes wrong? And that's why I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm going to get through this naturally. And I remember after I completed those 12 hours, like from the time that we were admitted to the hospital until the following morning, like the doctor came to check in on me a few times and she was like, are you ready for some form of like pain relief or anything like that? And I was just like, no, I'm fine. Like I'm just breathing through the contractions. I'm getting through it. And like one of the last times I saw her before she finished her shift, she was like, it's really unusual to make it 12 hours with no like pain.
And you were starting to get really fatigued.
Yes.
And really, like it was obviously having a big impact on you.
Yeah.
So that was also a game changer when you accepted that.
Yeah. So once they moved us to the labor and delivery room, like within an hour probably, like the contractions were just so intense that I couldn't speak through them anymore, and they were just way too close. Like I wasn't getting any breaks in between. And that's when I was like, Sam, the epidural. What do you think about the epidural? I think I need it.
It sounds pretty good
and
around
you
now.
were like, it's about time.
Yeah.
I would get the epidural again and again and again because it basically erased the pain for me. Like I could maybe feel 5% of the pain that I had been feeling before. And it just allowed me to get through the day. Like I don't think I could have made it to pushing time with no epidural.
Yeah.
It would have been too intense.
But like kudos to you for being flexible because you came in with your expectations. And it's great to be able to try to do things the way you want to, I think. For anyone, irregardless of how they want to give birth. But I don't think the expectations minus the reality tends to be pretty different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think most birth stories involve quite a bit of a different process than what was anticipated or expected.
Hello. We adapted our plans. We changed, and I'm feeling happy as a clam. It is now 1:45 p.m. I took the epidural. Like, there were no breaks between the contractions, and it was shooting pain up my back and like spasms down the stomach, to the point where I couldn't speak anymore. Like, it was just breathing, contraction after
that was
contraction.
after they broke your water. So
Yeah.
things started to get real.
Intense.
And originally the plan wasn't to do that, but I'm so glad we adapted because
me too.
You're doing so well right now.
Yeah. I stuck it out 12 hours at the hospital with no pain relief, except for that gas. That gas doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And now that they've given me the epidural, at first I was telling Sam, like, oh, I can feel 20% of the pain I was feeling before. Like 80 has been eliminated. But that's when they first put it in me and it hadn't fully kicked in. Now I think I'm feeling 5%.
Yeah.
Like some contractions I didn't even feel. Like the nurse was tracking them. She's like, you're having one now. I'm like, really?
Wow.
So it's going to give me the opportunity to rest, because they've told me you usually progress 0.5 centimeter to 1 centimeter per hour. So we're looking at 4 to 8 hours before I reach a 10.
Yeah.
And I can push.
That was 2 hours ago. So yeah, we're just out right now. It's just afternoon. And there's a good chance you're gonna be giving birth today.
Yeah, that'd
one
be
never
cool.
knows, but you have 11 and a half more hours in the day.
Yeah, so I'm just napping, resting, had some apple juice, and so far, so good.
Yep. And we have yet another exciting update.
So it is 1:25 p.m. They just came and checked me again. 9.5 centimeters dilated.
Good job.
Yes, I didn't think it would go so fast.
I know.
Especially with the epidural, because I'm unaware of the contractions, unaware of what's happening.
And apparently your contractions have been less frequent.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah,
I
lots
still
of progress
progressed a lot.
for you.
And like the cervical check after you've had an epidural, didn't feel a thing. It was amazing. The two that I experienced yesterday and the one this morning, it was horrible. Horrible, worse than the contractions.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy I got the epidural.
Yeah.
After 12 hours.
We're kind of on the clock now, like another hour or two until you might be ready.
Yeah, that's
So,
what they're saying. So
That's exciting. Wow. The end is nigh.
yes, the beginning. And another little thing I'm so happy about is the team that's working with us today. It's like, these are the nicest people ever. You can tell they're passionate about their jobs. They're happy to be here. Positive attitude. They want to help you in any way you can, make you feel comfortable. So I know my doctor's name is Faye. There's the nurse, Cassandra, and then there's a resident doctor, Christine. So I think that's going to be my team of 3 once we start pushing. But yeah, it's been so nice. I feel like I'm in good hands and just positive vibes, just like nice people. But everyone's so nice in Alberta, that's the thing. So yeah, really happy with the team we ended up with, by chance.
Oy, it's been a long day.
It has been a long day. 5 p.m., 5:10. Almost time to start pushing out, baby.
Yeah.
Yay!
That's where we're at.
I hope I can do this efficiently.
Yes.
Efficiently. They said it's usually 2 hours of pushing. I was out in 20 minutes. I'd love to be able to do it quick, but we'll see what happens with the baby girl. Yeah.
Let's go for Swiss German efficiency
Yes.
over here.
You guys know me.
What our size?
So next, I think I'll jump into the part of when the pushing actually began, because that's when we set the camera down and we stopped filming.
Yeah.
Sam obviously had to get involved.
I was
as
a glorified nurse. I was
Yes.
helping with the pushing and the coaching and the countdown.
Yes.
It's like everyone. The cool thing is that like we had a few different nurses because they were changing shifts, everyone had a little bit of a different like pep talk. It was like almost like being in a sports locker room or something, like go 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 go, you can do it, or push 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 push. I was doing like a countdown, and yeah, it was. I wanted to be involved as much as possible, so I'm glad I was able to help a bit.
Yeah. So when it came to pushing, one of the things on my list was that I wanted to try different positions, like not just being on my back and pushing, because I was like, this just goes against gravity. There's better positions out there, like squatting or whatever. So the nurse was actually kind enough to let me try maybe like 4 or 5 different positions, I remember.
Yeah.
And at the end, I was like, okay, which one's working better? And she
None of
was
them.
like, yeah, she was like, honestly, you seem to be pushing better when you're on your back in
Kind
the
of the
traditional
classic
position. Yes, which
you were basically given an A for effort. Like your pushing was great, but then there was the snag that happened. Yeah.
So basically, I ended up pushing little baby girl for 2 hours. It did not feel like 2 hours, I will say. To me, it felt like 15, 20 minutes tops. We were pushing during every contraction for 10 seconds, 3 pushes, and I just didn't progress very much. And it's because her head was kind of just like stuck behind my pubic bone, and it just wouldn't make that curve. Like I couldn't get her head through, basically, after 2 hours of pushing. And that's when they determined, like, okay, we're going to need a little bit of help here. You've already been pushing for 2 hours. If we keep going, you're going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
And the swelling down there is going to look a little bit scary. So that's when they brought in an obstetrician to assess the situation.
Yeah, a specialist, and he was excellent. He was able to assess the situation. He confidently had a suggestion, an idea that to use forceps, but he also gave you the option of continuing to push and to do it your way. And so you did have that extra, I would call it bonus round, right?
Man, I really wanted to do it naturally. So it was like, I think it was 8:30 or like 8:45. So I was like, let me push for 15 more minutes. And then if it doesn't work, we bring out the forceps. Because nobody likes the sound of forceps, to be honest. Especially if you've watched like movies of medicine in the olden days.
Yeah, I mean, technology's changed so much. I mean, like the forceps of generations past are not the forceps of today. Yeah. And, obviously, I think there's a lot more skill, and medicine has evolved over the years.
Yeah.
So
anyways, I pushed for an extra 15 to 20 minutes. I pushed my hardest because at that point I felt like I've got nothing to lose. Yeah. And maybe I can get this baby out now that I'm on the clock. So I pushed and I pushed and I pushed until it was time to... My time was up, basically. Time was up. And Sam was like,
going like this.
You've had your time.
Which was great because it's like then the specialist came back and literally within 10 minutes Aurelia was born. Yeah. So exactly as he said that this was going to help to make the delivery so much easier. You'd still be able to have a natural birth. You'd still be able to push at the very end, which he did.
I did.
And that was the turning point of the birth and your pregnancy.
Yeah, basically using the forceps, they were able to get her head through that little curvature, that section that wasn't really working. And then it was 2 pushes and she was out.
Yeah.
And she was born.
Which was pretty amazing because we had been doing it for so long. I'm like, oh, so it's going to take a while. Yeah. But no, that's all that was needed. Yeah. And then there was our precious little daughter.
Yes. So. And then they let me catch her. Yep. And I put her on my chest. And well, then the rest is a blur because at that point when the obstetrician had to come in to use the forceps, a whole team came in with him and they were kind of like on standby in case there was an emergency or anything. So it was a full room. I don't know if there were maybe like 10 people standing around.
We went from like only a couple, like sometimes it's just me and a nurse and sometimes there was a doctor there to like, a full team there. And But that was just, yeah, it was an incredible moment. It's like all that, all that build up and then the tension and then wow, here's our baby girl, and she looked just fine. Like there were no marks on her head from the forceps.
I know.
And so,
that was my worry.
Tremendous skill and also just we felt so grateful that that the specialist was able to figure out the situation, because there were a couple other people who came in and took a look, and they sort of weren't entirely sure how they wanted to proceed. And so someone came in with confidence, knew what needed to be done, and that was exactly the right solution.
Yeah.
We had our baby girl. Our baby girl was in your arms moments later, basically.
Yes. And from there, everything else was a blur. I didn't even get to see my placenta come out. I couldn't feel anything when they were sewing me up, like none of the episiotomy and like all those things.
I saw a lot over the hours.
Oh man.
It's we were really well taken care of.
We were.
I think that we felt very grateful for the healthcare that we received.
Yeah.
Just during the entire process, not just during the birth, but leading up. Just so attentive here in our rural area, also where we were giving birth. Very attentive. We had a nice place to stay. The only issue there was for 2 nights we had 2 different roommates, and their babies were having a lot more issues than ours. So there was just like nonstop wailing and crying, and it also the contrast between how easy our baby was versus some babies that were having a little bit of issues with jaundice and other things. Yeah, it just made us like appreciate, wow, we've got a very calm, a very chill baby. Very like we just thought like, wow, we're so lucky to have a healthy baby. We're so lucky just for everything to have gone okay.
Yeah, so we spent 2 nights in the hospital after giving birth. This little girl was born just before 9 p.m. So yeah, like Sam was saying, we had to share a room just because there were lots of babies being born Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And yeah, we realized very quickly how fortunate we are to have such an easy baby, like a baby who is just so healthy and so chill and so calm, and only really cries if she wants milk, and then she's more than content to just sleep or snuggle on top of you.
She loves being near us. She likes to be around us. She likes to be on top of our chests.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's also a really good traveler. We've had to travel a little bit with her. We've had to do some long errands, some various doctor's appointments and so on. And she's just been a pro every step of the way. But overall, we just felt very grateful for the healthcare we received, the specialists who stepped in and really turned the birth around and into a positive situation. And just like, I don't know, just being able to reflect a few weeks later and baby's doing well, you're doing well. Yeah. We're adapting to life as being parents. And it's been a lot of fun.
It has
It's been so much fun. Like it's definitely the greatest adventure we've been on yet.
Yeah.
We've traveled to probably over 70 countries together.
This is pretty cool.
This is the coolest.
This is right up there.
This is the number one. Yeah. This is the best thing we've ever experienced. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the thing that like some of the take home messages that I mean that we have maybe is just like the flexibility that sometimes is needed when it comes to giving birth. And
and you know what? It's like, okay, you can want things to go a certain way and you have this certain vision. But sometimes you end up taking a different path. You still arrive at the same destination, and it can turn out to be a very positive experience, even if it's not exactly how you pictured it. And I think that's a lesson that you can apply to a lot of different scenarios in life. Sometimes you have this very like fixed idea of how you want things to work out and how things need to unfold. And life takes you in like a different parallel sort of road.
Sometimes a more serpentine road.
Yes.
But it's fascinating how it all unfolded and things happen so fast. It's like now that we're reflecting on it a few weeks later, obviously we're not as emotional, we're not as like caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
But when all that's happening, it's decisions are being made quickly, and we definitely had to be flexible.
Yes.
And in the end, that was the right decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe I want to talk a little bit about our first day after giving birth, because while we are at the hospital, we heard over the speakerphones that they were putting on a special like breastfeeding class for all the new parents. And I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever, that they had a class that new moms and dads and newborns could attend. And it's like, okay, this is what you need to know. And then it was also really cool just having the nurses check in on us so frequently. I remember our first night.
Yeah.
This one nurse, I guess she must have seen that we looked exhausted after like pushing and everything. We hadn't slept in a couple of nights. And she was like, why don't I take the baby to the nurse's station and give you guys a chance to sleep?
Oh, yeah.
And at first I was a bit hesitant, like, oh, you're going to take away my newborn. I don't know. But we were like, okay. Yeah. And we ended up getting 2 hours of blissful sleep. It was wonderful. Yeah. And then she brought the baby back and she was like, your baby was great. Like, we have big fluorescent lights and it's loud. Like, there's lots of conversation at the nurse's station. And like this one slept like a champ. So it was like, okay, that's really cool.
The thing that, I really appreciated all the different services, and there were different nurses on call at different hours of the day. But like the thing that they wanted you to do was to feel confident when you went home. They were like, here are some of the skills that you'll need. This is like, you know, latching and feeding and how to do the diaper properly and how to just assess baby's moods and like what's going on. And it was like, we obviously still left kind of feeling, oh, we don't really know what we're doing, but like we were given some tools and resources on, you know, how to figure it out. Anyways. And that's what we've been doing. I think we've been getting a little bit better as parents every day.
And then another thing, I filmed a lot of footage of my meals at the hospital. I have to say, everything was positive. If I had to pick one downside of the whole experience, it would probably be the hospital food. And I'm only saying this because my sister gave birth at a different hospital where she basically had a gourmet experience. Like, she would get this menu where she would get to like take off what she wanted, and it was like waffles or pancakes and things. So I'm going to show you guys my meals, which were more like typical hospital food.
Typical blind hospital food.
Still okay overall, but
of course Dad goes down to the basement and buys his own food.
Yes.
And we also had the typical dad chair for our room. You know how there's no bed for the dad.
No bed for the dad.
Which is fine. The dad deserves to rough it a bit. They're not doing any of the birth. But but overall very, very positive experience, especially at that hospital. Yeah. And we left feeling very grateful, very appreciative. And I guess it would be really cool to hear about your guys' birth stories. If you have any, please share. And I think it's fascinating, especially once that experience has happened to you. You want to learn more about like other people's situations and like, what did you go through? What was your experience like? So please leave comments and let us know about your experiences. That would be fascinating. We'll definitely read all of them. Yes. Yeah.
And well, now I'll share some clips of when we drove back home, when Relly met Togo, the welcoming committee. Hola, Bambi. Hola, Bambi. Oh. ¿Cómo estamos? Do I smell different to you? Sí, Toguchi. Things happen, Toguchi. Things happen.
You got it okay? Yep.
Okay.
All good.
Baby, maybe let's take the baby in the house. Dale, Togo, vamos.
We knocked over the plant.
Despacito, Bambi.
Good boy. That's a good boy.
Acá.
It's un baby.
Un baby.
Smell.
Smells nice and gentle.
Hay un baby,
Muy
Togo.
bien.
Togo tenemos otro baby.
You got a good sniff, huh?
Not trying.
And yeah, we've been just at home ever since, learning to parent and just loving this little munchkin.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the welcoming committee is a funny. Yeah, if you don't win over Togo, then you don't get through the front door. That's how it works here. So, anyways, yeah, this is another fun video. Of course, we'll get back to doing travel content as well. But we've really enjoyed making these types of videos, and we may have a few more in the future as well.
Ooh, okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Family stuff, but it's been fun. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much for the support, and we'll see you next time.
I'll see you soon.
Ta-ta.
Bye.